All right, y'all, welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new product from Turtle Wax. We got their tongue twister of a name here. We got Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Pure Bead Xtreme Spray-On Coating. Okay, long name, but we'll just call it Pure Bead from here on out. I mean, that's what most people do with Turtle Wax's names. I don't know why we've still got the Hybrid Solutions branding, but I guess they want to differentiate newer products. But at this point, Hybrid Solutions has been out for quite some time. I guess Seal and Shine was not a Hybrid Solutions product, but the ceramic spray coating was, and I believe the Graphene Flex Wax RIP was. What is it? So it's a spray sealant. You know what it claims here: simple streak-free application, repellency, makes cleaning easy, works in auto, home, marine, and more. In the home, that's interesting. So surfaces: paint, film, vinyl, matte, glass, plastic, and metal. So very wide variety of surfaces. You know, even vinyl. Like, you could use this on vinyl seats, I guess. Don't do that, and we'll get into why later. But it claims UV protection. Don't know what that really is. You know, maybe it's hydrating the material somehow to provide that UV protection, but as far as rejecting UV layers, I think we've seen enough testing to show that no products actually do that. But it has this 100 wash guarantee. It's got a little asterisk. When you look on the back, it says that this was performed in a lab environment. So they did not put this on the hood of a car, drive it for 2 years, washing it once a week, and have it survive the whole time, right? That's not realistic. It's very unlikely this is going to last 2 years, you know, over 100 washes, which would take you roughly 2 years. You know, that's a big durability claim. So we're gonna put it to the test and see how long it lasts. I'm gonna do a few extra washes every week, as far as, you know, going over it with my wash pad a couple extra times. So if we look on the back here, delivers superior water repellency, self-cleaning performance, producing visible and repeatable results with every application. The directions state: wash vehicle and towel dry, shake product well, apply 2 to 3 sprays per panel onto a new microfiber cloth, use a second cloth to buff off, fold as needed. I go back to the Graphene Flex Wax from Turtle Wax. That was a product that you had to flip your towel fairly often. Like, it would start to bunch up, it would start to build up in the towel, and you would need to flip and use a fresh side even for the application, and especially for the buff off. You know, maybe we'll see something similar here, because they do make it a point to say, you know, flip your towel as needed. So we're going to use Max Power as a pre-wash. You know, for being readily available, it's like $10 for this big container. The dilution ratios are insane. The strongest dilution ratio that it calls for on the back for a bucket wash, the Xtreme cleaning, is like 20-to-1 in a bucket. So you're using a ton of product. It calls for 9 ounces per gallon. Wild. So there's a lot of water in this formula. As far as, it doesn't specifically say foam cannon, it says foam sprayer, but it says use 1-to-1 dilution, 50% strength for maximum foam and cleaning power, use full strength. So, you know, if you're in a lower power pressure washer using like an MGJC foam cannon, where, you know, you're struggling to get her all the way around a car on 500 mils of solution, it might even take you 600 or 700 mils of solution to get around a single car. You know, you can do with this 1-to-1 or even 2-to-1. But if you're in a higher flow pressure washer where, you know, you're only using 2, 3, maybe 400 mils to get around a car, you know, and you can do like 3 cars from a full foam cannon, then you're going to want to use this undiluted. You're trying to get around 25-to-1 for your final dilutions. Not super slick either, but, you know, for a pre-wash, something like that. Anyway, so we're going to use that as a pre-wash. And we're going to use Hybrid Solutions Slick and Slide Polymer Pure Wash. So it calls for 2 ounces in a foam cannon, 2 to 3 ounces in a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to use that for our contact wash. And then I'm going to polish off the hood. There's some products on there, but the test really didn't go so well. I put 16 products on the hood, and it's like, they're too small. You can't even really tell what's going on. I think 8 is the sweet spot as far as testing products side by side. So we're going to test it side by side on the hood against these 7 competitors. And so these are the products that I've found to be the best spray sealants on the market. I did get a new bottle of Griots 3-in-1, and I am seeing significantly improved performance over some of my older tests. So I think that bottle I had for about 2 years. So Yum Ceramic is my favorite spray sealant out of everything right now. Super slick, provides a nice depth, tons of gloss. Like as far as gloss meter testing, it provided the most gloss out of anything here, but still had a nice jetting effect, still slick, pretty good hydrophobics. Go back and forth between this and DIY Envy. That's kind of the honorable mention here. DIY Envy gives a really good depth. The gloss isn't quite as good as Yum, and it's a little harder to apply than Yum, I found. So it was just right there on the cusp. It was between DIY Envy and this. Nothing here is going to make your hydrophobics worse. They can only help your coating. They can make it more slick. They can improve the hydrophobics if they're not as good, if they're weakened, stuff like that, but it's not going to mask your coating. That's a myth. You know, we can put that to bed. There's been plenty of videos out here. I've put 100 different products on top of ceramic coatings, and I've never once seen any of them negatively impact the performance of the coating. As far as most everything, it will improve the slickness, or it'll at least be the same. Everything will at least provide the same hydrophobics as the coating standalone, if not improve it. You know, you can see the depth that it adds, and the depth does remain over time. I've tested that several times. You know, like these two provide the most depth out of anything here, and you know, I put it on top of Armorphobic as well as DIY Hydrate, and you know, you can see over time that they do stay there. That jetting does stay there for a couple weeks anyway. So we're going to see if Pure Bead can kind of defend the honor of Turtle Wax here, being that nothing over here really made it to the table of the top 7 competitors for Pure Bead. Looking at some of the initial reviews, I think it's going to hang as far as hydrophobics go. One thing to note on the back of this, Turtle Wax does provide a full list of ingredients. I'm not going to try to pronounce them, but a lot, like everything on here is solvents. All right, let's get some foam cannons loaded up and go wash this car. All right, we're gonna start with the wheels. So these are pretty gnarly today. I had them balanced yesterday, but I'm gonna take them off and coat them. So they did not do a great job of getting the old weight stickers off of there. It doesn't look like they moved them too far. So balance didn't change much, but anyway. So we're just gonna use the Max Power as a pre-foam. And so that's undiluted Max Power. I'm just going to do the kind of initial tire scrub that I do. There is a slight tint of brown in there. Can't see it real well, but I'm actually going to run around and foam all 4 tires. This foam is dwelling really well back here. I don't know if I love this wheel paw thing. Such a weird shape, having like the 3-finger setup. All right, wheels and tires are done. About 325-ish. So I'm gonna turn it down just 1 click because it might be a little short. Get our wash bucket set up. You see, this stuff does really well. Like it. Nice foam. It's fairly thin, you know, didn't leave much in the cup. It takes a little bit to get it out. There's a little residue too. I poured this yesterday and it was sitting out, so like there was a little dried ring in the top of the cup. The bug areas with what's left in the spray bottle. I'm not going to use this again anytime soon, so figure why not? All right, go ahead and rinse. All right, foam it again. All right, let's see how this foams. 40 mLs. $40 to put foam like that on the car. Put a little more in the wash bucket just to get a little extra slickness. Put 60 mLs. Nice and sudsy. Let's get to it. Slickness is great. You know, where, you know, we could miss spots because there's too much float. Got a little bit of dirt on there. Remember, this is also a polymer soap. We call it Pure Wash, but it's got a little extra in it. You know, what do the polymers do? Do they add gloss and slickness? Do they add anything lasting? I don't think so. Do not think so. All right, so where do I rate this soap, right? It's 20 bucks for half a gallon, but you truly can, you know, you could foam rinse foam with this soap with 2 ounces in your foam cannon. You get away with that. 2 ounces in the wash bucket. You could put less. I mean, this is really slick. You could get away with less. I would give the slickness like a 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 or 8. No, 8. It's gonna get an 8. The smell is great. It's like a tropical drink. I got way too much hose out. I was spraying off my AC unit. Don't forget to do that, by the way. How's my wash pad looking? Not seeing any dirt spots on it or anything. That's really nice. I love that. Foam is still holding up over here. This is a lot of foam. It's bordering on maybe too much. The bucket's not calming down at all. It's foamed out of its mind. I don't know, maybe the 60 mLs in the bucket was too much. I mean, it's just crazy foamy in that bucket still. It's not really dying down, so I have a feeling it's going to be staying on my driveway for a long time as well. Yeah, I don't even want to hit the door jambs with this because it's so foamy. It's like I scoop the foam out of the bucket. All right, so the car's fully rinsed. We're gonna go ahead and polish. We're gonna use the Turtle Wax One and Done. I'm just gonna do it wet. See if I can just get the whole thing in one section. I'm not trying to correct anything. I'm gonna blow it off just a little. This is a wheel and tire cleaner from Carbon Detail. See if that did it. Even that super light, quick polish was enough to take the hydrate off the front of it. You can see a little better what's going on. We're going to put Pure Bead as a drying aid on this driver's door here. 2, 3, 1 in the towel. Smells really good. Better than most other Turtle Wax products. Well, protection products, I should say. They do have some protection products that smell good, but most of them do not smell very good. Like they have a scent added to them, but it's not anything that's enjoyable. It's like they just always got this very specific chemical smell to them. Oh, went on really easy. Not a ton of slickness on the glass, but all right, we're just going to drying aid the whole car with it, get a better experience for it. It smells really good. I think cotton candy, maybe? I feel like that's the vibe. It's got nice slickness on the dry off. It's not amazing. Not very slick on the glass. Doesn't feel like anyway. I think it takes a little buffing to get slick, actually. Let me try that on the glass. I didn't feel it. No, it did not help. It helped on the paint, though. Grab a different towel for the hood. So I don't have streaks on the glass. I'm gonna try putting another really heavy application, 2 sprays. Fold this guy up really tight. No, there's still no slickness on the glass, really. May work on glass, but I'm really gonna push it over here to see if I can get it to streak. So I sprayed it on the sun side, the whole side of the car at one time. It is trying to streak on the glass, for sure. See if it'll wipe off. It's struggling. It's struggling. Definitely see some streaks in the glass. It wasn't horrible. There's still a little bit of streakiness there. I'm gonna grab another towel, but not bad. Now, this is nothing against this product. There's very few products on the market that I would do this with. There's definitely not a stout protection product that I would intentionally do that with. Like, no sealant really would I do that with in sunlight. You know, if I was out of the sun completely, I would do it. You know, I've done it with, like, I'll do it with Griots. That's what I use on a completely unprotected vehicle. And if I'm out of the sunlight, I'm not afraid to do the whole thing, like one whole side on a wet car as a drying aid. You know, because, well, for one, that's a little different too. The water's completely flat in that scenario. It's not here, but all right. Use the Rag Company Slim Dryer just to get this knocked down. I like the light weight of this. I just feel like I have more control over it as far as pressure goes. Like some of the heavy towels, especially if you're trying to dry an unprotected panel, I feel like they want to suck in. I feel like I'm gonna mar it in that situation. Just quick panel prep. Trigger's dead. Killed it. Super strong. This humidity is killing me. I can't get my dang gloves on. I've been trying for 10 minutes just to put my gloves on. Gotta go from the back of the headlight. Split that in half. Glove is definitely the way to tell if a surface is properly prepped. First up is Pure Bead. I'm doing 3 sprays in the towel for each one. Actually, let's call it 4. Go right here in the middle. So, you know, you'd typically want to spray it right on the panel. You're not going to want to spray it right on the towel like that, but just for the testing purposes, it's kind of what I have to do. Make sure it's nice and worked in. Pure Bead's done. Next up is Griots. You can see, nice and shooken up. 4 sprays. I put it right next to it on the front. This stuff smells amazing. I think it definitely smells better than the Pure Bead. Next up is Armor Ceramic Spray Sealant. This is a new bottle with the chrome label, and nice and shaken up. Shaking is very important, especially for your protection products. All right, next up, clutch. So this has a little different application. You kind of need to let it haze. I'm gonna do one more because this is one of those triggers that puts out less. It's like one of the DIY triggers. So what's gonna happen with clutch, I've got it on there nice and thick, and we're gonna let that sit till the very end. Okay. We're gonna put Yum Ceramic right next to Pure Bead here. That smells really good. Get a good even layer of it on there. That smells amazing. Smells like cotton candy bubble gum or something. All right, Sonax ceramic spray coating. I hate Sonax's triggers. And so I am dripping a little bit, but that's right on the front of the hood there. So it's in no man's land. I'll just put Pure Bead on everything in front of the tape line. This is one of the grabbier applications. This feels similar to clutch in the way it goes on. It's actually got a pretty significant haze on it right now. Yeah, it's getting more grabby. Okay, buff off. Probably the least slick so far. It's got a different look to it. Seems less glossy. Like if I look at the Yum is darker and more glossy, and this is like a whiter look. All right, next up, GTechniq C2V4. And so this is their newest formula. I think this just came out earlier this year. I haven't got a ton of play time with it yet, so this will be really interesting to see how it stacks. But you know, C2V3 was one of the best spray sealants out there. So, and, you know, GTechniq makes some great products overall. Their panel wipe is probably my favorite panel wipe, just because I like a strong one. That's one of the few really strong ones you can still get in bulk. Like DIY's is super strong, but you can't get it in a gallon. Super slick, super slick. Love that. Beautiful. Oh, that might be one of the slickest ones here. Last but not least, old Yeller, nice and shook. Trigger cleared. Just like to make sure my panel is completely tacky that I'm putting it on, that I don't accidentally forget where it was and put it on top of something. So this one, you can really see it going on. Really see it. Like super, super, super thick. 4 sprays was way too much for a panel this size. It's not getting grabby, really. To put Pure Bead across the front, I can glue you down just a touch so you can see this. Pure Bead. Light sprays so I don't get overspray. And so a good portion of this front had DIY hydrate on it, but the polish actually took it off. That I was surprised that really light polish was enough to do anything to it. You know, it was like speed 6, but no pressure really of any kind. Like I did the whole hood in one section with it wet, but it took it right off. Okay, getting tacky. Ugh. And lastly, we buff off clutch. Make sure I was using the clean side of the towel here. So like I said in the intro, the clutch is a very different product. It applies more like a wax or a coating or something where you gotta let it haze. But the nice thing is, you know, you can do it in direct sunlight, let it haze forever. You could let it sit for an hour and it'd be just fine. So it's really easy, much easier than a coating in that regard. All right, let's peel them off and see what the slickness feels like. I always like to use the back of the glove for the slickness. Pure Bead's tacky as it gets. The Griots, pretty slick. A little slicker than Armor, maybe even. That's less slick. That's definitely less slick. But what on earth? That's really smooth. Definitely less smooth. A little less smooth there too. Slicker with the C2. I think the Yum is up there for the most slick right now. It's been 5 days. We're gonna do the first wash. I'm gonna use Cerakote shampoo. Oh man, that is thick stuff. Wow, not a fan of that. Oh, there's 2 ounces in a foam cannon and 2 ounces in a wash bucket. Barely even wants to mix in the wash bucket, just sitting in the bottom. Nice thing about a weighted ball, really helps mix that stuff up. I think I'm gonna start with the knob all the way down. That ain't gonna do it. Who knows, maybe it's the slickest shampoo I've ever used. I mean, it is slick. Okay. All right, so let's rank them by hydrophobics. All right, so Griots is in last. Okay, Griots in 8th, Yum in 7th. C2V4 is in 6th, Armor is in 5th. Meguiars is in 4th. I'm gonna bring you in and look at these beads. I think Pure Bead is in, I just want you to look at the size of these beads. All right, so this is Pure Bead. Then Clutch. And then Sonax. Meguiars. C2V4. Yum. Griots. Armor. Okay, so the clutch and the armor really have no slickness. Same with the Pure Bead. Griots does, Yum does, C2 does, Meguiars does not, Sonax does not. C2 is the most slick, followed by Yum, followed by Griots, and then the rest of them really have no perceivable slickness. All right, let's wash it a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 washes. They all got 25 swipes. They all took a hit. As far as hydrophobics go, Sonax in first, Pure Bead in second, Clutch in third, Meguiars in fourth. Griots in fifth, C2 in sixth, Armor in seventh, and Yum in eighth. So, see if any slickness remains. Slickness is gone on the Griots. It's very much gone on the Armor. Nothing on Pure Bead, nothing on Clutch, nothing on Sonax. Yum has some, C2 has some. That's it. Yeah. So the Meguiars has no slickness. Sonax has no slickness. Clutch has no slickness. Armor has no slickness. The Griots has no slickness. Pure Bead, or I'm sorry, Griots has a little slickness. Pure Bead has none. Yum has a good bit. It's really close between the C2 and the Yum. They're right there. So that'll be really interesting to see how those two play out. All right, I'm gonna leave you with a little voiceover while I dry this car. All right, so let's wrap this up. We used a bunch of products today. So Turtle Wax Max Power, it was okay. You know, it foamed well if you used it undiluted in the foam cannon, but it's super cheap. You know, we used about $1-ish worth of product, maybe a little more, but that's about what you pay for pre-wash. I mean, with Built Hammer Touchless, you might be using 200 mils, but that's like $35 for a 5 liter, so it's far more expensive. Do what you will with that. The Pure Wash, much better. I think I'd give that an 8 overall. $20 for half a gallon, that's a nice size. Like, I don't think most people need a gallon jug of shampoo. I think a half gallon is a really solid size to go with. I think more companies should really consider offering that for, you know, the weekend warrior. You don't need a whole gallon, especially with a highly concentrated soap like this. You know, you could wash your car with 3 or 4 ounces, you know, especially even if you did a foam rinse foam. But solid product. I recommended it for a value conscious, you know, for the weekend warrior. And then we used the Cerakote shampoo for the first wash. Super stupid thick. I don't know why it's that thick. I don't like it. You know, it doesn't mix. It doesn't pour. It was a pain to mix in the wash bucket. Like I had to do like 15 swipes in the wash bucket just to get it to start to mix. You know, even then I had to use the pressure washer to fully get it mixed in. Smelled okay. Smelled kind of tropical. Wasn't a strong scent. It did have good slickness. The foam was decent, but it dried out kind of quick. So probably a 6 for me. The competitors in Pure Bead. You know, Pure Bead was my initial impression. Lacking slickness. I don't love that. You know, the Sonax had more slickness after application. As far as during application, Pure Bead wasn't bad. You know, it wasn't grabby. It didn't want to streak too bad. I was actually surprised how well it went on. The Sonax went on pretty well. The Clutch kept up with it as far as hydrophobics went, but it's a little more involved of a process to install, and you don't really gain any durability. It's just got an amazing look to it, though. Clutch is like that show car sealant. Like, if you want to put a spray sealant on to take it to a show, Clutch is what you need. That's something I think you should have in your cabinet. As far as hydrophobics go, you know, Pure Bead, Clutch, and Sonax were all right there, and then the rest were kind of lagging behind. Yum is like not really a sealant. You know, it's just a really slick, durable detailer. You know, something like Tech 582 or something like that. I mean, I think it's a great product for a coating topper. My favorite. You know, the slickness is solid. After the first wash, we saw a degradation in slickness on all of them, and degradation in hydrophobics in all of them. We washed it 25 times. I swiped over each section 25 times. You know, so we only had 3 with slickness after that. The C2V4, the Yum, and the Griots had a little bit. Everything else was grabby under the glove. You know, I don't know, you know, there may be more nuance to it. I could do a tilt test or something like that, but at the end of the day, they're all very close in terms of just being grabby. So they would all need some kind of topper, you know, at that point. Armor Amplify, Garage Therapy Detailer, something like that. You know, Yum Detailer's all right, but it doesn't have any lasting slickness, so I don't really love that. You know, some people want a product that leaves nothing behind. Personally, I don't care. Garage Therapy Detailer or Armor Amplify, I'm sorry, they are not doing anything to mask your hydrophobics. They're not doing anything to add to your hydrophobics. They're not making your coating look like it's still kicking when it's not. You know, because standalone, they're cheaters. So anyway, yeah, so, you know, we saw a little degradation, but they're all there. They are all still hydrophobic, so this will be real interesting where we are in another week. So like, comment, subscribe. You know, if you want to see the following updates, we're going to push this out for a while. They're still kicking. If nothing's died, or, you know, the majority are still beating up water, then we'll keep it going. But all right, y'all, I'll talk to y'all soon.